So I just thought I'd do a quick video of the layout, basic layout tour. I've had a couple production videos of building Helix and everything, but don't actually have one of the layout as it is right now. It's a full production layout. It's fully operational. Usually have 5 to 6 operators during a session. Still working on scenery and various details of the layout, buildings, etc. Also adding a few more modules with different track plans and corresponding industries, other stuff with the auto industry. But here's a basic walkthrough of the layout from start to finish, operating as a point-to-point. So this is on the lower level. This is Linton Yard. So right now, these two front tracks are on a CN Auto port. They're found all over Canada. Currently it's a 4-track yard with room to add in between. There's no shop tracks here yet. There will be. But so then we leave Linton eastbound. This is actually a reversing loop section. The bottom layout can operate as just a circulating loop. This would be a maintenance away siding. This will eventually be a big river. This is the reversing loop portion that heads back into Linton around this bend. This is the next stop, heading eastbound. This is the town of Foley. Got a refinery. This will eventually be truck loading. This is a brewery that was made from an old refinery kit and an old Walters paper mill kit. Main Street. This is a lumber distribution facility, just a small one. This here is a bulk transfer building with truck and road to rail service, dry goods, stuff like that. We'll keep going. This is Tilsonburg. This is a plastics plant. They make plastic piping, as you can see here. Also like IPEX stuff. Again, this module is not completely finished. So now we arrive at Cane Creek. This is just a small logging facility I'm still working on. So we got a small mill. This track back here will eventually be all, there'll be a truck turnaround right here, and then this will be a stack of logs getting loaded onto the flat cars. And then over at the mill here, got the chip tracks. Still got to make a chip loader. Keep going. This module is just, I have just a passing siding on it right now. It will be a transmission plant and a stamping plant, more than likely, or an engine plant, to correspond with the auto plant. It'll be mostly served by auto parts box cars and 89-foot flats for automotive frames. I'll do an update on that later. This brings us now to Welland. So this is a biodiesel plant. Over here, this will eventually be a fertilizer plant, fertilizer factory. Still got to make the buildings, and these will be fertilizer storage domes. This here will be the Robin Hood flour mill. I still got to create the loading building, but that's actually a scale of the Robin Hood flour mill in Welland, Ontario. So then I'll keep going. So right here, the main line Y's, this is the other half of the reversing loop for continuous running. So heading down this way, this heads to what currently is St. Thomas. So I got a small passenger station, and I'm slowly redesigning this track plan. This is going to be one big stamping plant. The tank car facilities here, and well, actually the building will probably jut out. There'll be scrap yard, scrap cars gone, and then keeps heading around at the bottom of the helix. Or you can come in the other way. This is actually my lower harbor. This is the barge that was used to move up to the next level. It still works, still functions, it's powered. It will be used as an industry now instead. So I got my scrapyard. This will have a barge system set up here, just for loading scrap onto a barge. Weigh scales. This is my McMillan Blodell building. It's a forest product company. Next, we'll move up to the top. So go up through the helix, and if you backtrack on the helix, you'll come to the upper harbor. So this is the other dock for where the barge used to come. Again, it'll be used as another industry. Over here, this is a ore dump. So I'll have the ore come out here, and I'll station a loader here and maybe a barge loading ore or whatnot onto the barge. Back here, I have a milling company, small distribution. This is non-railway served industry. This is just a packaging plant. So I'll move around the helix. We're still heading eastbound. This is a cement factory. We're at West Street right now. This will eventually be my paper plant, paper mill. So I have chemical storage up at the top, and also lumber loading up there. Lumber unloading would be pulpwood for the paper. Continue eastbound and up at New River. Here we have an interchange with the main, and this module operates as its own industry. So we'll have just a single operator operating this, which will take cars from the interchange, bring them down. This bit of a switchback here, in through the cut, and then served by the mine. And this is one operator can run this whole module. So I'll continue eastbound. I go over the mine, This will bring me to Reynolds, which is substantial grain storage, and it's got 3 grain silos. The larger one in the back, obviously. It's a pretty basic module, this, but it's a busy one. Lots of freight here. Each industry is its own industry. So basically the trackage that's in front of each grain silo is its own. Continuing eastbound. This is Thorndale. This is modeled after the Agrimart in Thorndale, Ontario. We have fertilizer and potash domes here. There'll be a conveyor, or a rotating conveyor, which will fill each dome. We got grain silo and elevator there, just feed sheds. We got fuel for farm tractors. We got another feed shed. This basically supplies the farming community with anything it would need, chemicals, that kind of stuff. Continue eastbound. This is South River. These are all my versions of places. So we got another planing mill. This would be a log pond here. Log dump into the pond. This would be a small crossing here with a truck unloading right here, with the turnaround for the trucks next around the sawdust burner. We've got wood product loading here, and then this will be a chip track. So I'll continue. This module here, this is Talbotville. This is solely the Ford plant, still working on it. So this module is operated again like its own module, so you'll have switching operations from the auto plant out to the mains, and then main line will pick up and drop off from the 2 sidings out front. And we got auto parts in. This will be frames. I gotta get some nice frame loads. And then the auto rack loading. I will have 4 tracks eventually. Right now we operate with 3. And as you can see, I have a lot of automotive stuff, so that's why the earlier module will be the transmission plant and stamping plant, or something corresponding with the auto industry. This is on the 2nd level, by the way. This will bring us to Arklow. This is basically just a big gravel pit to make ballast and everything. So I have this is operated as its own industry too, so it'll be just switching from the gravel pit out to the main, or out to the interchange, which is right there, and main will pick up from there. Also have a flood loader. Most of my ore cars are just either just for aggregates, or I'm not huge into exactly like ore production and stuff. Continuing eastbound through the town. Which brings us up to Cormac. And this is the finish point. I have another auto port right here, these 2 first tracks. And then another 4-track yard. I also have a bit of a locomotive facility here with turntable, because this is the end of the line. There's no loop. So you pull your train in and you can flip your locomotive and head back westbound, back to Linton. And this is actually, just to show you, it's right over top of Linton where you start. So it's basically a mirror image of the 2. So that concludes my layout tour. And I'll update some more videos as I get modules built.